Alright, folks. Ever get curious about how the American legal system, the one we know today, can morph it into this complex thing that touches just about every corner of our society? Ever wonder how, from those early colony days, through the rumble of the Revolution, right up to all the changes in modern times, the law played its part in American history? Well, American legal history, a very short introduction, is gonna throw open a fascinating window into the story of American law for ya. Picture this. Way back in the 17th century, when the first European settlers set foot on North American soil, they didn't just bring dreams of a new life. They also lugged along the legal traditions of their homelands. But out here, in this strange new world with its different social setup, those laws started bumping into the local realities, mixing and matching, and slowly cooking up legal practices that were uniquely North American. Chapter 1 of this book. It's like a guide, taking us back to those foundational times, painting a clear picture of how English common law took root in the colonies, the deep impact religion had on early law, and the huge clash of legal ideas between the colonists and the Native American folks. And yeah, we can't skip over that dark chapter, the introduction of slavery and the brutal slave codes that came with it. Those are like scars on American law, running deep in its DNA. As things got tense between the colonies and England, a revolution for freedom and independence blew up. Chapter 2 of the book. Think of it as a big, sweeping historical painting, showing us how the revolution wasn't just a political fight, but a real shake-up of legal thinking. The bright ideas of the Enlightenment lit up the colonists' path to claiming their rights. And that powerful line in the Declaration of Independence, "All men are created equal," that was like a lightning bolt across the night sky, becoming a cornerstone of American law and politics. Then came the tough talks at the Constitutional Convention, and the birth of the U.S. Constitution, like a finely tuned legal machine, laying down the principles of federalism and checks and balances. And to make that machine even better, to give it some soul, the Bill of Rights got added, protecting folks' basic freedoms and rights. Early American law still leaned a lot on English common law, but it started doing its own thing based on what America needed. The setup of federal and state courts, and the landmark rulings of the early Supreme Court, that was the start of the American judicial system. Jump ahead to the 19th century, and America's like a teenager shooting up fast, with the country expanding, the economy boomtowning, and big social ideas swirling round. Chapter 3 of the book. It's like a keen observer, keeping track of the tension and challenges the law faced in this changing time. The push westward brought tricky land and Native American issues. The growing economy cooked up new business law areas, and that fierce debate over slavery, that just about tore the young country apart. The Supreme Court kinda fumbled the ball on slavery, and then the Civil War happened, showing us how complicated the law's role can be in social change. It can be a tool for keeping things unfair, or it can be a force for moving things forward. Even though slavery got wiped out legally after the Civil War, those shadows of racial discrimination still hung over the land. The dawn of the 20th century didn't magically fix everything. Problems like the gap between the rich and poor, workers getting a raw deal, and pollution kicking up dust led to the progressive movement. Chapter 4 of the book. Think of it as a reformer telling us how the law started answering these modern-day challenges. The government started playing a different role, getting more involved in regulating the economy, protecting consumers, and looking out for workers. And big time, there was the civil rights movement, from knocking down separate but equal in the courts to passing federal laws protecting civil rights. The law slowly became a bigger player in pushing for social justice. And it wasn't just about race, women, folks with disabilities, and the LGBTQ+ community started using the law to fight for their equal rights too. The way law was taught in the legal profession got more serious, all helping the law play a bigger role in keeping things fair. When you flip to the last chapter of the book, it feels like you've landed in a time full of tough questions, but also a bit of hope. 21st century America is dealing with tech taking off, the world getting smaller, and big shifts in how we think about things. The author of the book's like a forward thinker, getting us to think about the law's job in all this. New legal headaches pop up with the internet, data privacy, and who's responsible when AI messes up. Global issues like terrorism and climate change need international laws, and our own laws to work together. And those big debates about things like same-sex marriage and gun control, they show how the law has to try and balance different values and keep some kind of order. The author also points out some big trends in American law today, like paying more attention to individual rights, the law getting more specialized, and using real-world evidence more when making and applying laws. After reading this book, you'll see that American legal history ain't just a bunch of dusty old rules and court cases. It's a real story, full of fights, compromises, steps forward, and sometimes steps back. It's like the story of a country growing up, keeping after those ideals of freedom, equality, and justice. This book tells that story in a clear and interesting way, so even if you don't know a thing about law, you can still follow along and get what's going on. It's not just a stuffy academic book, it's something that helps us understand America today. It'll get you thinking about what law really is and how important it is in shaping our society. So, if you're into American history, or if you want to see how the law can make or break a country, American Legal History, a very short introduction, is definitely worth checking out. It'll take you on a legal journey through time and give you a deeper understanding of this complicated but fascinating nation. Grab a copy and let's dig into the mysteries of American legal history together.